I would say maybe the scariest thing, like shit, maybe getting shot at or something. Or like, I don't know, maybe getting shot at, you feel me?
October 2nd, 2024, 27-year-old Lucas Coley posts 3 simple words on his Instagram story. I love y'all. Hours later, he's found dead in Las Vegas. But here's where this gets twisted. His girlfriend Amber had just sent him a breakup message. After 9 years together, after building a joint YouTube channel with over 40 videos, after teaching her French on camera while millions watched their love story unfold. The Clark County coroner confirmed it. Lucas took his own life with a single gunshot to the head. But the most gut-wrenching detail? Amber was on the phone with him when it happened. She heard everything. She screamed, "No, no, no, he did it," before telling her mom to call 911.
Wish this didn't happen. I feel like it was another way. When I was on the phone and I heard it, I screamed. I said, no, 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 he did it. I said, Mom, call.
This French-American rapper had 1.2 million Instagram followers, 500,000 YouTube subscribers, and a hit song with 15 million views. From the outside, Lucas Coley had everything: fame, love, success. So what was in that final breakup message that pushed him over the edge? Welcome to our channel, where we dig deep into the cases that shake you to your core. I'm about to take you inside a relationship that looked perfect on social media, but was hiding a devastating reality. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this story will change how you see social media relationships forever. What Amber revealed about their final conversation will absolutely destroy you. Lucas Coley wasn't supposed to become a rap star. Born July 8, 1997 in France, his life took a dramatic turn when his family packed up everything and moved to Las Vegas when he was just 8 years old. Picture being a kid, barely speaking English, thrown into American schools in the middle of the Nevada desert. Most kids would crumble. Lucas, he turned that struggle into his superpower. While other kids were playing video games, Lucas was on Vine. Remember Vine? Dropping bilingual rap videos that nobody had ever seen before. He'd flow seamlessly from English to French, creating this unique sound that made people stop scrolling and actually listen. His breakthrough wasn't some record label discovery, it was pure hustle. In 2016, he dropped I Just Wanna and watched it explode to 15 million views. Suddenly, this immigrant kid who barely graduated high school was getting recognized on the streets. But Lucas wasn't chasing mainstream success. His manager later revealed something heartbreaking. Lucas never got radio play and refused to sell out. It hurts seeing all the press he's getting now. We wanted that while he was here. He released the mixtape Prince of France in September 2016, carrying 20 tracks that showcased everything he could do. Then came I Keep Pushing, Vol. 1, in June 2017. He was part of the rap group Diamond Z with Willie Friesen III and Dylan Troy, before they split to chase solo careers. Lucas also formed the duo Lucas and Nonso with his friend Nonso, proving he wasn't just about going solo, he genuinely loved creating music with others. By the time he was in his 20s, Lucas had built an empire. 1.2 million Instagram followers hung on his every post. His YouTube channel hit 500,000 subscribers. He was previously known as Kid Lucas, but had evolved into something bigger. His final release came in August 2024, a track called No Comp. Nobody knew it would be his last. His manager, who went by I Discover Stars, wasn't just business. He called Lucas more of a brother to me than my client. That's the kind of loyalty Lucas inspired in people. But here's what his millions of followers didn't see. Behind those confident rap videos and success stories, Lucas was fighting battles that would eventually consume him. The same cultural identity that made him unique also left him feeling caught between two worlds, never fully belonging to either. 2015, Instagram DMs were still relatively new, and most celebrities ignored random messages. But When Amber Harrison, known online as Amber H., slid into Lucas Coley's DMs, something magical happened. She wasn't expecting a response. This was a shot in the dark from a girl who probably sent dozens of messages to influencers hoping for acknowledgement. But Lucas? He actually replied back. What started as a simple DM exchange turned into late-night phone calls, then video chats, then something neither of them expected: real love. By 2017, they were officially together and fans were obsessed. Here was this bilingual rapper from France dating this gorgeous influencer, and their chemistry was undeniable. They weren't just posting couple photos, they were creating content that made people believe in love again. In 2018, they launched Lucas and Amber on YouTube, and it became appointment viewing for hundreds of thousands of fans. These weren't staged, fake relationship videos. This was raw, authentic content that showed real intimacy. The most popular videos? Lucas patiently teaching Amber French phrases while she struggled with pronunciation.
So let's start off with what?
What?
Quoi?
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 Yeah.
Je veux de la pizza.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, where the hell? They're gonna be like, where the hell? Yeah.
Both of them cracking up when she butchered the accent. Fans ate it up because it felt genuine. This successful rapper taking time to share his culture with the woman he loved. Their travel vlogs were different too. While other influencer couples posted perfect vacation shots, Lucas and Amber showed the messy, real moments: flight delays, bad hotel rooms, arguments over directions, but always ending with them laughing together. Food challenges, Q&As, day-in-the-life content. They created over 40 videos that gave fans unprecedented access to their relationship. Comment sections were flooded with relationship goals and "I want what they have." Amber wasn't just along for the ride either. She had her own following, her own brand, her own ambitions. This wasn't some clout-chasing situation. These were two successful people who genuinely seemed to complement each other. For 9 years, they built something that looked unbreakable. Fans watched Amber learn French, saw Lucas open up emotionally in ways he never did in his music, witnessed two people from different backgrounds creating their own little world. They survived the transition from Vine to Instagram to YouTube. They weathered the pressures of public relationships, the constant scrutiny, the fans who felt entitled to their personal business. Drop your city in the comments if you've ever been in a relationship that looked perfect from the outside, but was struggling behind closed doors. But here's what those 40-plus YouTube videos never showed: the late-night arguments, the depression Lucas was battling, the weight Amber was carrying, trying to be his entire support system. Social media relationships are performances even when they feel authentic. Every couple's content is curated, edited, filtered through the lens of what will get views and engagement. What fans didn't realize was that behind those sweet French lessons and travel adventures, something darker was growing. Lucas was becoming increasingly dependent on Amber for his emotional stability, and she was slowly drowning under the pressure of being someone's entire reason for living. The cracks were forming, but the cameras never captured them. While millions of fans watched Lucas and Amber's picture-perfect relationship unfold on YouTube, a completely different story was playing out behind closed doors. Lucas was drowning. Depression had wrapped itself around him like a vice, squeezing tighter every day. But this wasn't the kind of sadness you post about on social media or discuss in vlogs. This was the kind that makes you disappear for days, that makes simple tasks feel impossible, that convinces you the world would be better without you. Amber saw it all. The man who could effortlessly flow between French and English on camera would spend hours staring at walls in silence. The rapper who commanded stages and built a million-follower empire couldn't get out of bed some mornings. He tried everything: gentle conversations about therapy, research into counselors who specialized in depression, offers to go with him to appointments. She became his unofficial therapist, his emotional crutch, his reason to keep breathing. But Lucas refused professional help. Maybe it was pride, maybe it was the stigma that still surrounds therapy, especially for young men in the entertainment industry. Maybe he genuinely believed Amber's love could fix what was broken inside him. The pressure was crushing her. Imagine being 20-something years old and feeling responsible for keeping another human being alive. Every time she left for work, every time she didn't answer her phone immediately, every argument became a potential trigger. Their relationship transformed from partnership to life support. Amber wasn't just his girlfriend anymore, she was his entire emotional infrastructure. When she was happy, he could function. When she was stressed or distant, he spiraled. The social media facade became harder to maintain. Those cheerful YouTube videos required more and more energy to produce. Fans started noticing longer gaps between uploads, but they attributed it to busy schedules, not mental health crises happening off-camera. Lucas's manager later revealed they used to speak on our struggles all the time, but smile for the fans. Even his professional relationships were built around hiding the pain, performing happiness while battling demons privately. By 2024, Amber was approaching 30 and facing a brutal reality. She had spent nearly a decade trying to save someone who didn't want to be saved. Her own mental health was deteriorating under the weight of being Lucas's sole source of stability. The breaking point came when she realized she had two choices: continue sacrificing her own well-being in a futile attempt to fix someone else, or make the hardest decision of her life. She chose herself. "I couldn't do it anymore," she would later reveal through tears. "I'm about to be 30. If you don't want the help by now, if you don't got the help by now, you don't want the help." The breakup wasn't sudden or cruel. It was the desperate act of a woman who had given everything she had and finally accepted it would never be enough. But Lucas couldn't handle losing the person who had become his entire world. October 2nd, 2024, the day that would haunt Amber Harrison for the rest of her life. The breakup wasn't a screaming match or dramatic blowout. After 9 years together, it was exhausted resignation. Amber had finally reached her breaking point. She couldn't be Lucas's entire support system anymore. But Lucas? He wasn't ready to let go. The phone calls started immediately. Not angry calls, desperate ones, the kind where someone's voice cracks because they're trying not to completely fall apart. Lucas was begging, pleading, making promises he'd made 100 times before. "I'll get help," he said. "I'll go to therapy, I'll change." But Amber had heard these promises for years. She'd researched therapists, made appointments he wouldn't keep, watched him spiral again and again while refusing professional help. She was done being his unpaid, unqualified counselor. Then the threats started. Lucas began saying things that made Amber's blood run cold. If she didn't come back, if she didn't give him another chance, he would hurt himself.
I love him dearly, but he needed help. Period. Needed help. Help that I've damn near lost myself trying to give.
He would end everything. This wasn't the first time he'd used these tactics. When you're desperate to keep someone, when your entire emotional stability depends on one person, manipulation becomes survival. But Amber had learned something crucial. You cannot save someone by sacrificing yourself. She stayed on the phone anyway. Maybe she hoped she could talk him down. Maybe she was terrified of what would happen if she hung up. Maybe after 9 years, she couldn't just abandon him in his darkest moment. The conversation stretched on, Lucas's voice getting more erratic, more desperate. Amber trying to balance firmness with compassion, knowing that giving in would only restart the cycle that was destroying them both. Then she heard it. The sound that would replay in her nightmares forever. A single gunshot that ended everything. No, 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 he did it. He did it. Amber's screams echoed through her house as the reality hit her. The man she'd loved for nearly a decade, the person she'd tried desperately to save, had just taken his own life while she listened helplessly. Mom, call 911. But it was too late. Lucas Coley was gone. The Clark County Office of Coroner and Medical Examiner would later confirm what Amber already knew. Lucas had died from a single gunshot wound to the head, self-inflicted. His final Instagram story, posted just hours before, "I love y'all." 3 words that now read like a goodbye letter to his 1.2 million followers who had no idea their favorite rapper was planning to end his life. His manager's world shattered too. The man who called Lucas more of a brother than a client posted through his grief, "Being your manager was one of the reasons I stayed here. There's a hole in my heart right now, Lucas. We used to speak on our struggles all the time, but smile for the fans." But the most devastating detail? His manager's deleted post revealed the depth of his own pain. "I'd be a hypocrite if I told you not to, and I go and do the same." Lucas's death didn't just end one life, it traumatized everyone who loved him. Amber was left with survivor's guilt and the horrific memory of hearing someone die. His manager was questioning his own will to live. Fans were left wondering how they missed the signs. The rapper who had built his career on resilience, on keeping pushing, had finally reached a point where he couldn't push anymore. October 2nd, 2024, became the day that proved love alone isn't enough to save someone from their demons. Within hours of Lucas's death becoming public, the internet turned into a battlefield. Amber Harrison became public enemy number 1. Thousands of Lucas's fans flooded her social media with vicious comments. "You killed him. His blood is on your hands. You could have saved him, but you chose to be selfish." The hate was relentless, brutal, and completely misguided. She was forced to disable Instagram comments as the harassment escalated, death threats mixed with accusations. Strangers who knew nothing about their 9-year relationship were painting her as a villain in a tragedy she never asked to be part of. On Thursday, just after news broke, Amber posted a picture of a phone turned off with a desperate caption, "This made me feel a lot better. Amen. Y'all don't know the half. Leave me alone. Let him rest." The pain in those words was obvious. Here was a woman who had just experienced the most traumatic event of her life, hearing someone she loved take their own life, and instead of receiving support, she was being blamed for his death. But the attacks didn't stop. Fans created conspiracy theories about what she said in that final breakup message. They analyzed old YouTube videos looking for evidence that she was manipulative or cruel. They turned their grief into rage and aimed it directly at her. Meanwhile, Lucas's manager was drowning in his own grief. His initial Instagram post was raw, unfiltered pain. "Rest in peace at I am Lucas Coley. I love you, bro. My heart is ripped in half. Wait for me up there." But then he changed the caption to just a heart emoji, as if even expressing his grief publicly felt too vulnerable. His follow-up post revealed the depth of their relationship. "Being your manager was one of the reasons I stayed here. There's a hole in my heart right now, Lucas. We used to speak on our struggles all the time, but..." Smile for the fans. "So many people hurt us again and again, but we had each other. I don't know what to do now." The most chilling part? His deleted confession. "I'd be a hypocrite if I told you not to, and I go and do the same." Lucas's death was pushing his manager toward the same dark thoughts. Fellow Vine star Demetrius Harmon posted tribute photos, writing simply, "Rest up, my boy." The creator community was mourning one of their own, while watching the toxic fan response unfold. His agency, I Discover Stars, tried to honor Lucas's memory. "I'm going to be in mourning. My brother is gone. Don't wait until someone dies to give them their flowers." That last line hit different. Lucas had achieved posthumous recognition that eluded him in life. His manager's earlier words echoed. Lucas never got radio play and refused to sell out. "It hurts seeing all the press he's getting now. We wanted that while he was here." The tragedy wasn't just Lucas's death. It was how quickly people turned grief into blame, how a woman who tried to save someone for 9 years became the scapegoat for his final decision. Lucas Coley's story isn't just about one tragic death, it's a mirror reflecting the dark side of our digital age. Think about it. Here was a guy with 1.2 million Instagram followers, 500,000 YouTube subscribers, and a hit song with 15 million views. By every social media metric, Lucas was winning. But behind those numbers was a man so broken that he couldn't see any way forward. This is the brutal reality of social media fame. You can have millions of people following your every move, but still feel completely alone. Lucas and his manager used to speak on our struggles all the time, but smile for the fans. They were performing happiness while battling demons privately. The immigration factor made everything worse. Lucas moved to America at 8 years old, spending his entire childhood caught between two cultures. He spoke French and English fluently, but did he ever feel like he truly belonged anywhere? That cultural displacement creates an identity crisis that can last a lifetime. His manager revealed something heartbreaking. Lucas never got radio play and refused to sell out. Even with millions of followers, he felt like an outsider in the music industry. Social media success doesn't translate to traditional recognition, leaving creators in this weird limbo where they're famous but not really accepted. But the most dangerous pattern was his relationship dependency. Lucas had made Amber his entire emotional support system. When she tried to leave, he couldn't imagine existing without her. That's not love, that's emotional hostage-taking. This happens more than people realize. One person becomes responsible for another person's entire mental health, and it destroys both people. Amber spent 9 years trying to be Lucas's therapist, his motivation, his reason to live. No human being should carry that weight. The warning signs were everywhere, but nobody knew how to read them. His final Instagram story, "I love y'all," seemed like typical social media positivity. His manager's posts about struggling were vague enough to miss. Even Amber, who knew him better than anyone, couldn't predict the exact moment he'd follow through on his threats. Here's what's really messed up. Lucas's death got more media attention than his entire career. His manager was right. It hurts seeing all the press he's getting now. We wanted that while he was here. Society pays attention to mental health only after it's too late. The fan reaction to Amber shows how little people understand about relationships and responsibility. She spent nearly a decade trying to save him, sacrificed her own well-being, and still got blamed when she finally chose herself. That victim-blaming mentality keeps people trapped in toxic situations. What warning signs have you noticed in friends or family that you maybe didn't take seriously enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help someone else recognize when to get help. Lucas's case proves that fame, love, and success can't cure depression. Professional help isn't optional when someone is struggling, it's essential. And nobody, not even someone who loves you deeply, should be your only reason for staying alive. If Lucas Coley's story teaches us anything, it's that we need to get better at recognizing when someone is in real danger. The signs were there, but they were hidden behind social media posts and private conversations. His final, "I love y'all" Instagram story wasn't random, it was a goodbye message that millions of followers interpreted as typical influencer positivity. Here's what actually matters. If someone threatens to hurt themselves during a breakup or argument, take it seriously, every single time. Lucas had made these threats before, and Amber had learned not to give in to manipulation. But this time was different. When someone says they can't live without you, it's not romantic. It's a red flag. Healthy relationships involve two complete people choosing to be together, not one person depending on another for their will to live. Professional help isn't negotiable when someone is struggling with depression. Amber tried for years to get Lucas into therapy, but you can't force someone to get help. That's the most heartbreaking part. She did everything right, and it still wasn't enough. If you're supporting someone with mental health issues, you need support too. Amber carried Lucas's emotional weight for 9 years without proper resources. Caregiver burnout is real, and it can destroy the person trying to help. Crisis resources exist for a reason. The 988 Suicide in Crisis Lifeline is available 24/7. call or text 988. The crisis text line responds to texts at 741-741. The Trevor Project serves LGBTQ+ youth at 1-866-488-7386. The National Alliance on Mental Illness hotline is 1-800-950-NAMI. But here's the hard truth. These resources only work if people use them. Lucas had access to help, but refused it. His manager was struggling, but didn't reach out. Amber was drowning, but focused on saving Lucas instead of herself. The biggest lesson from Lucas's death isn't about recognizing warning signs. It's about accepting that you cannot save someone who doesn't want to be saved. Love isn't enough. Good intentions aren't enough. Sometimes, despite doing everything right, tragedy still happens. That's not your fault. It's not Amber's fault. It wasn't Lucas's manager's fault. Mental illness killed Lucas Coley, not the people who loved him. Lucas Coley's final words to the world were, "I love y'all." 3 simple words that now carry the weight of a life cut short, dreams unfulfilled, and a community left searching for answers. His legacy isn't just the bilingual rap videos that made him famous, or the 15 million views on I Just Wanna, or even the joint YouTube channel that made millions believe in love. His real legacy is the conversation his death started. We're talking about mental health differently now. We're questioning the pressure of social media fame. We're examining how we treat people who are struggling and how we blame the wrong people when tragedy strikes. Lucas wanted to be remembered for his music, for refusing to sell out, for staying authentic in an industry that rewards fake. But maybe his most important contribution is forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about depression, relationships, and the responsibility we have to each other. His manager was right. We should give people their flowers while they're here, but we also need to give them professional help, healthy boundaries, and the understanding that love alone can't cure mental illness. If you're struggling, reach out. If someone you love is struggling, get them help, but don't sacrifice yourself in the process. Lucas's "I love y'all" was his goodbye, but it can be our beginning, the start of better conversations, better support systems, and better outcomes for people fighting battles we can't see. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that matter, and remember, you are not alone.